Chapter 21. Dandiswami comes to Kukkuteswara Temple. Sadaka should have purity of place and purity of bhava. In accordance with the order of Sri Maha Guru, I started for darshan of Maanchaala village along with Gurucharana. On the way, we were discussing Sripada's leelas. I learnt many things related to spiritual matters from Gurucharana. I asked Gurucharana, "Sir, Sripada said that a person with the amsa of Vashishta would come to His Maha Samsthanam as pujari. Who is that great fortunate person? When will he come?" Gurucharana said, "Sir, Shankar Bhatt. He himself said that Maha Samsthan would be established in his name after many centuries. Sripada's will is that one great tapaswi should come as pujari in that Maha Samsthan. It is not possible for great tapaswi to come without the will of God. Doing dhyana, araadhana, worship, chanting of sacred mantras, and worship with devotion and concentration will make the atmosphere, that is vayumandalam, pure. From the depths of universe on all sides, the thought vibrations will be always radiating. People with sacred thoughts will receive the sacred vibrations. People with impure thoughts will receive impure vibrations. If the thought vibrations in the vayumandalam of a particular place become highly powerful, they touch the chaitanyam of mind of great purushas and with some powerful methods will attract them to that place. There is nothing to wonder in this. If impure mental vibrations accumulate in a particular place, they touch the mental chaitanyam of cruel people and attract them to that place in different strange methods. So, a sadhaka should live in a place of purity. He should also have purity of thought. He should make friendship with such people only. One should take money or food only from people having purity of money. Many people who thought themselves to be great pandits in Vedas and Vedangas or Upanishads could not get the grace of Sripada. Poorly read but having purity of mind could get great benefit from him. I went to Puri Jagannatha Kshetra in Orissa on business purpose. There I saw Sripada in place of Jagannatha. 3 or 4 Sripada devotees were with me. He granted them the darshan of their chosen gods and taught silently that he was the form of all gods and goddesses. Insult to Dandiswami. On the same day when we went, one Dhandiswami came there with 108 disciples. It was our habit to pay obeisance to their feet whenever we came across Mahatmas. When we saluted to Dandiswami, he lost his speech immediately. We prayed Sripada srivallabha. Mahaprabhu, please restore his speech. Immediately, Dandiswami got back his speech. After knowing that we were devotees of Sripada, they talked with false logic. The person by name Sripada is a Kshudra Mantrik. Being his disciples, you are also Kshudra Mantriks. Even though you made him speechless with your Kshudra Vidya, our Swami has got back his speech again because he is a powerful person. Our great Swami will come to Petikapuram and expose your Sripada. He will make Sripada bite dust and get the victory certificate. The people of Petikapuram will highly honor our Swami. We could not say anything. In the process of his leela, Sripada will put his followers into troubles, and when they pray, he will protect them in a wonderful manner. He is the one who creates the problem. He is the one who shows the remedy and gives support. These types of leelas are very familiar to all Datta devotees. After a few days, Dandiswami came to Petikapuram. Fortunately, I also came to Petikapuram on the way at the same time. There was no dearth of people in Petikapuram who had hatred towards Sri Bapanarya, Sri Appalaraju Sharma and Sripada. Dandiswami had darshan of gods and goddesses in Kukkuteswara Temple. They also had darshan of Swayambhu Datta. Dandiswami said, "The power in this Swayambhu Datta is great. Swayambhu Datta has taken me as a tool to control the ego of Sripada, who boasts himself as his avatar. Good days have started for Pitikapuram from today. You will be without worry. Saying so, he created Vibhuti and Kumkum with the power of his will and gave them to his supporters. The Brahmins of Pitikapuram went to Kukkuteswara Temple to welcome Dandiswami with Veda Ghosha, chanting of Veda mantras, into Pitikapuram. It was announced throughout the village, Sripada, who says he is the avatar of Datta, should realize his mistake and prostrate before Dhandiswami. Bapanarya should come in person before Dhandiswami and express his regret. Appalaraju Sharma should come before Dhandiswami and surrender the idol of Kalagnishamana Datta to him and be ready for the punishment given by Swami. Arya Vaishya Parishat met under the chairmanship of Venkatappaya Shreshti. It was decided that Sripada, Appalaraju Sharma or Bapanarya should not bow to Dhandiswami under any circumstances, and no one should give support to such misbehavior of Dhandiswami. The Kshatriya Mahasabha, which met under the chairmanship of Narasimhavarma, also made a similar resolution. Sripada was resting under the shade of Audumba tree in his maternal grandfather's house. Seeing his face spreading divine light, Shreshti was grief-stricken and was shedding tears. Narasimhavarma, Shreshti and Bapanarya sat silently near Sripada. Appalaraju Sharma could not do anything and sat like a mad person. Sripada, looking like Sri Krishna, got up from sleep and said that he was hungry and would eat curd rice. His grandmother Rajamamba brought curd rice in a silver bowl. Sripada ate it quickly. Sripada asked his grandfather to do Veda Ghosha. Appalaraju Sharma also took part in the Veda Ghosha. Sripada also joined them. Narasimhavarma and Shreshti were hearing that melodious chanting of the sacred Veda Ruchas. The atmosphere there was like an ashramam of a rishi. Curd rice was seen stuck in the mouth of Swayambhu Datta in Kukkuteswara Temple. When the priest was wiping, it was reappearing. It was a surprise that the idol of Swayambhu Datta was showing such leela. Dhandiswami started from there with his disciples and the new disciples of Pitikapuram with Veda Ghosha. He was lifting leg and putting it down. But he was seeing that the earth was elongating. For those who were seeing them, they were appearing that they were moving their legs but were unable to move forward. With this strange variation in leg movements, time was running. Everyone was looking surprised at this wonder. The Brahmadandam staff of Dandiswami broke into two pieces. Dandiswami felt as if his backbone was broken and sat on the ground. This incident caused fright among the people of Pitikapuram. They felt that Sripada was more powerful than Dandiswami, and if they harbored enmity with Sripada, they would have to face many problems. But they did not know how to get out of that place and reach home. Moksham or liberation comes when moham, attachment, is lost. There is one Abbanna in Pitikapuram. He used to catch snakes and live by playing them. Blowing Nagaswara, he came to Bapanarya's house. Sripada stopped Veda Ghosha. Abbanna was given food to his satisfaction. Sripada called Abbanna and said, "Oi, from here you go to Kukkuteswara Temple with water filled in your vessel. While Datta Avatar is moving in Pitikapuram as Sripada Srivallabha, great sinners who are blaming him unnecessarily are there in Kukkuteswara Temple. For them, Chitragupta resolved that they would get Pishacha Janma after death. I am talking to Chitragupta and trying to destroy their sin. Bhumata, Earth also is angry. You go there and tell Bhumata as my word to cool down. You sprinkle this water on those who agreed to come for Sripada's darshan. Go to Madhika Subbaya's house and take him along with you and distribute the curd rice in his vessel to all of them as Mahaprasad." Abbanna and Subbaya went there and brought all of them to Bapanarya's house. Sripada was furious and said, "How egoistic you have become as a Dandiswami! You are the greatest fool who cannot recognize that the same Datta Prabhu whom you worship is here in the form of Sripada Srivallabha. Do you deserve disciples also? And you have a new group of disciples in Petikapuram also. What can you do to me? What is your existence in front of the Almighty who rule all this creation? Because of scolding God, you and your followers acquired great sin. Chitragupta decided that all of you should remain in Pishacha Janma for some 100 years. With compassion, I cancelled it. It was also resolved that even when you came to human birth, you would have lower births having all difficulties. That also I cancelled it with a very little punishment. The form of Sripada Srivallabha is like a great Agni. Playing with fire will lead to dangers. My Maya and myself are the same. You understand what moksha is. Moksha or the liberation is nothing but loss of moham or attachment. If any jivi desires the experience of Satchidananda form, I will grant it if he has the eligibility. If one desires to remain happy in ecstasy of divine Ananda beyond Maya, it will be granted that way. There is no difference in my looks between formless, qualityless state and the state of form with qualities, and between liberation and bound state. Every moment, countless new worlds will be created, sustained and destroyed. There are no limits to the highest states and highest blissful planes which can be acquired by jivas. People who want to come to me after death can come certainly. My sankalpam, will decide how many hundreds of divine years they should remain in such states and in which lokas they should be sent again. The key person in this world drama is myself. At present, I am in human form before you. You are seeing me. Even in the formless state also, I will be always seeing you. I have come down from that highest state to this human form to tell this to you. The yogic powers of Mahayogis should be used only for the world welfare. World does not mean only this Bhulokam. It is your dharma to help the helpless jivas who are in lesser state than you. I took avatar only to teach the paths of dharma, karma, yoga, bhakti and jnana. I am the only truth which is the basis for all truths. I am the only dharma which is the basis for all dharmas. I am the only cause which is the basis for all causes. Nothing is seen in this creation which is not in my sankalpa. If I am not there, there is no creation. Because I am there, you are there and the creation is there. How do you want me to tell more than this? You go to Himalayas and do tapas alone. You don't keep the burden of disciples. Even if you do not get liberation or you are not uplifted, there is no harm to me or to this creation. The programs in this creation will go on as usual. This is the real thing. A new band of disciples in Petikapuram has come in support of you. It is like donkey's music concert for the marriage of camels. While donkeys are praising the beauty of camels, the camels are praising the sweetness of donkey's music. Even if you praise each other like this, the truth is something different. Thus he taught Dandiswami. The relationship of Arundhati and Vashishta. I asked Gurucharana, I heard that Arundhati Mata was born in a Chandala family. In such case, how did Vashishta Maharshi marry her? Gurucharana said, in ancient times, Vashishta did tapas for 1,000 years. At that time, one Chandala girl by name Akshamala did service to him within her limits. The Maharshi was pleased and told her to ask for any boon. She decided that he should marry her. Vashishta questioned, I am a Brahmin, you belong to a Chandala family. How is the relationship of wife and husband suitable to us? She said, you told me to ask for a boon. I asked. If you give, it is good. Otherwise, permit me to go back. Then Maharshi was afraid of breaking his promise and said, in that case, will you agree to whatever I do with your body? She agreed. The Maharshi burnt her to ashes and again brought her back to life. Thus he did 7 times. In the 7th Janma, the sin of Chandala was completely destroyed and she became pure. Then Vashishta married her. She did not object even a little to what her husband did, so she became famous as Arundhati. This thing was told to Narasimhavarma, who belonged to Vashishta Gotra, during the course of a conversation by Sripada. A person born in a Shudra Kshetram to a Brahmin can be treated as a Brahmin after doing Upanayanam in his 7th Janma. It is good if people belonging to the 4 Varnas behave according to their respective qualities and actions allotted to them. A Brahmin, because of his bad deeds, can slowly become fallen and become a Shudra. A Shudra, because of his good deeds or Satkarmas, slowly get elevated and can become a Brahmin. People who keep undisturbed faith in Datta Prabhu will get the higher states quickly according to their eligibility. Datta Prabhu can grant life, health and wealth necessary for living happily to his devotee in whichever caste he is born or in whichever circumstances he is. It is Sripada's natural leela to cut the bonds of karma of many janmas and give higher states to the devotee. Thus he explained Sripada's assurance to Datta devotees. Talking to each other on the speciality of Sripada's greatness, we reached Maanchaala village. The village goddess of Maanchaala gave us her divine darshan and blessed us. She fed us prasad with her divine hands and said, Dattatreya, who did Guru Bodha, teaching of Guru, is now present in the form of Sripada Srivallabha in Bholokam. Sripada's will cannot be predicted. Sripada himself told me that in the coming centuries, Prahlada would take avatar as Guru Sarvabhauma, the greatest Guru, and this place would become famous as Mantralayam. He would daily drink the waters of Tungabhadra. May you have all auspiciousness. Saying so, she got back her previous form. While we were leaving that place, one Maladasari by name Krishnadasu came. The village goddess of Maanchaala gave prasad to him also, gave him a garland of flowers as a symbol of her grace and told us to travel to Kurungadda. We 3 started our journey to Kurungadda. All the devotees of Datta belong to only one caste. They can take the prasad of Datta Prabhu given by a person of any caste. When Krishnadasu joined us, we had new enthusiasm. In course of conversation, Krishnadasu said, if one knows why there are differences in the numbers 16, 116, 1116 to the dakshinas given as donation in yagnas, one can understand the number 2498 of Sripada. Just as this Jagat, world is reflected in Atma, children are born from father. During marriage, the bridegroom prays to Agnihotra. O Agnihotra, you allow me to have 10 children in this bride. He himself becomes the 11th son. That means it is within dharma to have 10 children. After that, he should treat his wife as mother. The son is 1/10 part of the father. 10 such children together become father, who is the form of Purnanka. Shiva is Atma, so he is Paripurna, wholesome. If 16 dasa amshas, 1/10 are divided by 10, 1 Purnankam comes as a symbol of Shiva and 6 remains. Vishnu is the form of Moola Prakriti, the root nature, and has the form of Maya. But 1 Dashamsha remains. Brahma, who is the son of Purusha Prakriti, Shiva Vishnu, is 1/10 of them, Dashamsha. So if 1 is divided by 1, 1 Purnanka comes as the symbol of Brahma as the result. Nothing remained. Purnam means 0. It is Nirguna. So it is the form of Rudra. When everything is merged, annihilated, Laya, only Mahashunyam is seen. Everything merges in Mahashunyam only. But the form of Vishnu has the dharma of Ananta, endless. While the creation in the nature of Sthiti, the Ananta Tattvam, all-pervading nature, is inevitable. Sripada has 16 kalas in wholesome. My dear Shankar Bhatt, If one thing is broken into countless pieces, every piece becomes shunyam. When such shunyas join in countless numbers, one limited form is created. Hence, Shiva and Keshava are not different. In the division of 16 dashamshas, when divided by 10, 6 dashamshas come as the remainder. From that 5 dashamshas are taken as a symbol of Vishnu. It is said that the creation, Srishti, made of 5 bhutas, air, water, fire, sky and earth, is the form of Vishnu. Vishnu told Veerabhadra, who destroyed Daksha Yagna, for Ishwar, Moola Prakriti is in the form of Parvati for Bhogam, in the form of Durga for killing demons, as Kalika Devi in the state of anger, and as Veerabhadra in the form of Purusha, that is male form. This is the aim in telling that Sripada has the 16 kalas in wholesome. He left Pitikapuram at the age of 16. As he is the combined form of Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra, learn that he is Shodashakala Purna, the different forms of God. As Prakriti is the form of Vishnu, 5 dashamshas are the symbol of Vishnu. As Brahma is the son of Parvati and Parameshwara, Brahma is 1/10 of Shiva. The reason is very clear. Shiva being the form of chaitanyam is important. The form of Vishnu being the symbol of Jagat, which is illusion, is not important. So Brahma is 1/10 of Shiva. The number 1, Ekankam, is a symbol of Brahma. This Ekankam is spread in all 8 murtis from the numbers 2 to 8. So Brahma got the form of Navaprajapati. Out of the numbers 16, 100 and 1000, the last 2 words had 16 and 116 added and got the forms 116 and 1116. If these are divided by 10, they become symbols of all things in the creation. Rudra will get 1 as Purnankam, Vishnu gets 11 as 2 Purnankas, and Brahma gets 111 as 3 Purnankas. 16, 116 and 1116 are called Tridakshina. 3 Dakshinas starting from 16. It was said that people donating Tridakshina will get Brahmagnana. By donating Tridakshina, one will be treated as having donated 3 things: body, wealth and mind. By donating in equivalent amounts to 16, 116 and 1116, one will get the fruit of donating whole world. Pindandam is a symbol of Jagat. Our body is in the form of 3 savanas: Pratas Savanam, Madhyam Dina Savanam and Tritiya Savanam. They are related to the Chandasu, meters, Gayatri, Trishup and Jagati. Gayatri has 24 letters, Trishupt has 44 letters and Jagati has 48 letters. The total is 116 letters. So, by this Pindandadanam, donation of body also, one gets the fruit of donation of the money as said above. Sripada's avatar is the result of Savitrukataka Chayanam, the divine effulgence. Tejas pervading the Savitru Mandalam is the one which induces the function of all buddhis, intellect. That itself is Gayatri Mata. 24 is a symbol of Gayatri. 9 is the form of Brahma and 8 is the form of Maya. In Treta Yugam, Bharadwaja Maharshi did Savitrukataka Chayanam in Pitikapuram. In accordance with the promise given at that time, that divine effulgence has manifested as Sripada Srivallabha now in Pitikapuram. It has in it the combined form of Shakti and Shakta as Ardhanarishwara. It has come to induce the functions of Jiva's intellect into the path of Dharma. To indicate this, Sripada used to ask for Bhiksha as Do Chaupati Dev Lakshmi. No one can understand the Vyakarana of his words, leelas, and his ways of teaching. He is the Karta for this Nava Vyakarana, so it is the Vyakarana known only to him. I heard many things from Krishnadas. I learnt many more new things. People having the ego of scholarship will not be able to get the grace of Sripada. Krishnadas started telling again. Sripada is all-pervading from ant to Brahma. Once Varma was taking rest along with Sripada in his fields. Many cobra snakes came there. Sripada strangely cut off the head of each snake from its body. He threw them all in heaps nearby. Many big ants, which no one saw before, gathered there. Varma was in deep sleep. Sripada killed all those ants so that Varma's sleep was not disturbed. Meanwhile, Varma got up from sleep. Seeing those dead ants, he felt pity on them. Sripada smiled and said, "King has to save his servants. This is the rule in this creation. There is a wonderful king for these wonderful ants. He is coming soon. Look." One big white ant with a glowing body had come there. It went around those dead ants. Immediately, all those dead ants came to life. Sripada said with a smile, "This ant king has Sanjeevani Shakti. With that power, it saved its servants." "Tata, there are many wonders like this in this creation. If you ask, I can show any number of this kind of leelas every moment." Meanwhile, Narasimhavarma looked at the dead snakes and was surprised. He noticed that this was also Sripada's work. Then Sripada joined the head of one snake to the body of the other and stroked them with his divine hand. Immediately, they all came to life, went around Sripada and left that place. Who knows why those cobra snakes came there and why Sripada did like that? When I asked Sripada about this, he said, "When the power of Rahu planet is not sufficient, people will face obstacles in all works and feel that they are in the grip of a python. This is called by some people as Kalasarpa Yogam. Rahu is the supporting god for serpents. The serpents which cause such obstacles remain somewhere and cannot be seen by us. I was destroying those obstacles in that way and causing happiness to my devotees. We reached Kurungada safely. Sripada blessed us with a smile. Victory to Sripada Srivallabha, Sripada Rajam Sharanam Prapadhye."